on Penn Speak Radio. A little great country little tune. Hey, we have a special artist on the show. We have a special artist coming up on the show right here on Penn Speak Radio, and it's a gentleman who is kind of been in the country music industry for a little bit. We're looking forward to chatting with him and finding out what this guy is all about. And his name is C.J. Solar. Now, he is a combination of Southern rock and country music influences. He's been out there doing some performing and some writing and things along that line. Let's get C.J. on the phone right now. Hey, C.J., are you there?
I'm here. How's it going?
There you are. Hey, how you doing this afternoon, C.J.?
Oh, I'm doing great. Just taking a break from writing a song with some buddies to say what up.
That's awesome. You know, and I was just explaining to my listening audience that you kind of have a different type of flair about you, and you're kind of more on the Southern rock kind of things. But I know you're a busy guy, but can you just give us a little bit of background about where you get your inspiration from and where you're going to pull when we listen to your music, so we understand where you're getting those influences from?
Well, I grew up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and you know, a lot of my family members really loved Southern rock and classic rock, and as well as like outlaw country. So that was
right.
Some of the stuff that I grew up on was Creedence Clearwater Revival, you know, the Allman Brothers, Leonard Skinner, Willie Nelson. That was like the main stuff I grew up on. So that's really where I pull a lot of inspiration from, and just, you know, I'm a firm believer that, you know, the stuff you grew up on, you know, is really the stuff that is going to, all of that stuff becomes a melting pot, and then you draw from that when you're writing your own stuff. So, I mean, that's the well that I'm pulling from, and, you know, I really love that kind of music, and I feel like I'm just trying to make music that I love, and that I think there's a lot of people out there that still like that stuff. And are going to dig what I'm doing. Yeah,
you know what? And I think that is part of the genre that's missing a lot. I think all the new country is great, and all the new artists doing their thing and mixing in, you know, like reggae or whatever, and all that's great too. But I feel like, you know, as those older classic artists are passing away, we don't want to lose that sound. We don't want to lose that, you know, a good old Southern rock. And it's nice to hear that there are people out there trying to keep it alive, like yourself.
Yeah, you know, there's not a lot of people doing it right now.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I wouldn't say that I'm like 100%, you know, Southern rock doing exactly what those guys are doing. I feel like I'm making country music for today, but just that's inspired by that stuff. So, you know, I'm trying to keep the torch alive, but I you know, I know a lot of people will see pictures of me and think, oh yeah, that guy's trying to be Leonard Skinner Part 2 or whatever. But I'm, you know, I really think what I'm doing fits today, fits today's country market. But, you know, just pulling from that inspiration where, you know, you have other artists that are, you know, pulling from rap music inspiration.
Sure.
But you know, that's just kind of where I'm at.
Now, is this your first album that you've put together, CJ?
Yeah, it's the first thing that I've ever released. I was fortunate to 3 years ago sign a publishing deal with a company called Seagale Music that Brad Paisley's one of the two owners. And I've written some songs for some other artists, and they were just like, man, why don't you know, do a record of your, you know, the stuff that you've been doing that's just kind of your own thing. And so we put that out last year. Seagale has a record label division that put it out, which is really cool of them. And it was the first stuff I'd ever released, and I'm super proud of it. And I actually just tracked some new stuff a few weeks ago, and I'm still working on it right now in the studio. That I'm excited to get out later this year. But I've got a single out right now called "Just Another Day in the Country." That's doing pretty well around the country on some radio, getting some radio play and charting on the Billboard Indicator chart, which is pretty cool, and Music Row chart. So super excited about a lot of that stuff and see where we can get it.
Now, the EP, is that available? Is the whole EP available?
Yep. Yeah, the whole EP is available. It came out mid last year. It's called Hard One to Turn Down.
Right. Okay.
And 5-song EP. And a lot of songs that that we were playing live and that just went over really good, and a lot of really fun stuff. And I think you'll definitely hear that Southern rock kind of vibe on there, but
okay.
I think it's got a cool thing of its own, and I'm just excited to have my own stuff out there.
Now let me ask you this: the EP, this is on only electronic ways that people can get it, off of a website or off the electronic platforms like the iTunes and that, or is
yeah. Well, I've got it on iTunes and Spotify and everywhere digital music is, and then I've got physical copies.
Oh, okay.
On my website at cjsolar.com, and at any shows that we're at, we'll have copies of that.
So people can get their hands on a hard copy version.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can definitely. And we actually put out a live EP earlier this year that I've got physicals. I think I've got those on my website. If not, it just came out a little bit ago, and it's only on Spotify online right now.
Okay.
We'll do it with them, but a live EP called No Sleep Till Nashville. That's got it's got some of the songs from the old EP, a song I wrote for a buddy of mine, Jared Neiman, called Blue Bandana, that he had out a little over a year ago, and a cover of a Go On by Montgomery Gentry that we love to play. So
Okay.
it's a fun little EP and kind of gives you a good idea of what we sound like live, because it's straight off the board.
Nice.
From the Wild Horse in Nashville.
Now, the Hard One to Turn Down EP, is that all of your music? Did you write all 5 songs on there?
I wrote all of those songs. Yep, I wrote them with different buddies that I've gotten to meet over the years, and I wrote. There's a little more time that I wrote with my buddy Josh Jenkins from Green River Ordnance. If you're familiar with them, they're a cool band. And my buddy Brent Anderson produced it with me, who wrote Lonely Tonight for Blake Shelton, and he produced Buy Me a Boat
Okay.
for Chris Jansen, and he's done a lot of great stuff.
So you're rubbing elbows with some pretty serious people here. I mean, some of these names you're throwing out there are they're up there already. They're doing pretty good.
Well, yeah, I've just been very, very lucky to kind of get brought into a really great group of people, especially over here at Seagale, the publishing company, record label that I'm at. They've got so many amazing people that are a part of this team, and Brandy Clark's over here, and just a ton of great writers that have written a lot of hits. And I'm lucky to about every day be writing with people that have written some amazing songs that I either look up to when I was growing up, or that are writing hits now, and it's just really cool to get to kind of be a part of this, and it is funny thinking about rubbing elbows with some of these people. But when I moved to town, I never thought I'd be, on a buddy basis with a lot of these people. So it's very cool.
That's cool. Now, the music that's on the EP, you just mentioned about the single that you have out right now, Just Another Day in the Country. Since you did write the songs, can you tell us a little bit about what that song's about? A little background?
Well, it was kind of funny. It's kind of just me and two of my best buds, Michael Hardy and Jake Mitchell, went down to Michael's camp house in Mississippi one weekend, and we were kind of just hanging out and fishing and writing songs during the day, and we were like, why don't we just write a song about what we're doing right now, about just kind of hanging out in the country. And it ended up just being super fun, and had a great vibe, and we had a blast writing it, and started playing it live, and it kind of took on a life of its own with the live crowd, and had, whenever we cut it for the record, it just felt great, and we thought it would be the best single to take to radio, be the first single we took to radio. So I think it's going over really well, and it's just about kind of life in the country.
Nice. And, I know you're busy. I don't want to hold you up too much more, but I always like to play another song at the end of my show, which will be in about 30 minutes or so, to remind people that if they missed the interview or missed the music, to listen and check back on you. And remember that this entire show gets recorded and played back on a Sunday morning, so you can let your fans know that as well. It kicks off at 8 a.m. Eastern Time here at Penn's Peak Radio. We mentioned about playing a tune, something called Tall Boy. Now, that one's had some pretty significant recognition recently as well, and you also got a video produced for that one as well.
Yeah, we did a video for Tall Boy. That was the first song we put out from this EP before we even put out anything from the EP, and CMT ended up picking up the video, and we had a #1 video, fan-voted video on CMT, and it's got almost 2 million streams on Spotify.
Nice.
And just kind of that one just again had kind of a life of its own, and had a lot of people that really connected with it and liked it. And it's funny, we'll be playing shows and there will be people in the crowd that will have no clue who we are. Sometimes they'll just happen to be there partying, and we'll look. We could tell when we break into that first chorus, people are like, I know that song. Why do I know that song? So it's cool. It's cool to have that sometimes for us to just have a song that a lot of people know, which is great.
Well, that's pretty awesome. I mean, you've come a long way, CJ, from digging an old guitar out of a closet and plunking around on that. I believe I read when you were 7 years old.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. My dad had an old guitar in the closet, and when I was about 7, pulled it out and started messing around. And ever since, that's about the only thing I've ever wanted to do was play guitar. And I was writing. I was listening and learning a lot of, like, the first song that I ever learned was "Bad Moon Rising" by Creedence Clearwater Revival, and all I wanted to do was learn those songs, and then I was like, all right, well, I love these songs. I kind of want to start trying to write my own songs. And I love guitar and I love playing guitar, but I realized that the main reason I wanted to play guitar was so that I could write my own songs, and that's kind of where I've been, and what's gotten me to Nashville and wanting to write songs for myself and for other people. And
so do you see yourself more as a writer rather than a performer, or is it kind of equal on the slate?
Well, I to me, they go hand in hand. It's hard for me to, I love playing live, but if I'm not playing, songs that I wrote myself, if I'm playing all other people's music, it just doesn't do the same thing for me. So. And the same with writing the songs. I love writing the songs, but I feel like if I didn't ever get to play them out, it would be kind of almost a bummer. And hearing other people sing songs I wrote is one of the coolest things ever. Just because, especially big artists, because it's so hard to get on a lot of these projects that are coming out of Nashville. And whenever you can, a big artist like Justin Moore, Blake Shelton, or somebody like that, they record, they got 12 songs on the record, and you got the best songwriters in Nashville, either writing songs with them or for them, and to be able to sneak one in there as kind of a new guy is a great feeling. And I've been lucky to get to do that a couple of times.
That's pretty cool. That's definitely cool. Awesome. Sure. Well, listen, we're going to have to take a quick break, and I know you probably need to get back to your writing. But I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, CJ. And, I know you're traveling. You're doing, pretty much shore-to-shore traveling across the states. If you ever find yourself up here in the state of Pennsylvania, please do let me know, and you'd be more than welcome to stop by in the studios and, throw out some more of your music and a real quick impromptu interview here. But keep us posted, too, with any new and exciting news going on. When you do have something else, we'd be glad to have you on the show again. That's always an open invitation for all my artists.
Awesome. Well, I'd love to. And we occasionally get up to Pennsylvania, so I'll definitely have to hit you up next time we got something up that way.
Yeah, that would be awesome. We'd love to have you in the studio, but we're going to have to take a quick break, and I know CJ needs to run. We're going to play one of the 5 tunes off his EP, which is Hard One to Turn Down. You guys want to be looking for this on electronics, all the electronic medias across the board, as well as hard copies on his website at cjsolar.com. The track we're going to play in a minute is Just Another Day in the Country, and then at the end of the show we'll also play Tall Boy. But is the video for Tall Boy on your website, CJ?
Yeah, I think both the videos are on my website somewhere, and they're all on YouTube. If you just Google my name or just type in my name on YouTube. Okay,
cool.
Or the name. Yeah.
Is there anything you want to throw out there before I need to cut you loose, CJ, that you want your listening audience to be looking for in the near future for what CJ Solars are going to be all about?
I just appreciate you listening, and hope you dig the music. And I'll have some new music real soon that I hope everybody gets to hear.
Awesome. And check out his live EP as well, which you can find all the stuff about him on CJ Solar. That's SOLAR.com, and find him on YouTube. Hey, man, dude, keep writing, be strong, rub elbows with some of those guys, and, hey, drop my name once in a while. I'd love to have Jared on my show, too.
That would be awesome.
Well, I appreciate your time, sir. Good luck with everything, and keep us in mind when you have something new to announce or you happen to be in the state of Pennsylvania.
Sounds great. Thank you again.
All right. Take care, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. And there you go. Mr. CJ Solar has got some new music out there. You don't want to miss this guy at all. Check him out at cjsolar.com, his live EP, and everything on the electronic side of things. Got his tune, Just Another Day in the Country, coming up right after this.